The ABCs of UK82! Hey there. Welcome back to the ABCs of UK82 with your host, Yorpshard, the piece of shit record jerk. Let us trudge onward from where we left off last week through that badass box of broken dreams, the UK82 singles. That's right, like I told you last week, this series is gonna focus only on 7-inch singles and EPs. If you're a 12-inch only kind of person, you don't gotta run away. Stick around. 90% of this stuff is out on LPs too, and singles collections, or re-released albums with the singles tacked on the end, or best ofs. You can still get this music. It's still hot shit that we should be discussing. Stick around! Biggity bam, biggity boom. This is volume 2, which means we're on the second letter of the alphabet, which, if you don't know, is B. Bands that begin with the letter B. Let's check it out. Okay, we're gonna start off this week with a slightly obscure record, but a certified fucking banger. Black Easter, Ready to Rot. This came out on Illuminated Records in 1982. What we got here is some mid-paced punk rock, simple riffs, yelled and or spoken vocals that comes off punk as fuck. Something about this record gives me a tiny bit of like a Killed by Death feel, you know? And this is UK82 stuff, it's not 70s shit like the normal Killed by Death stuff, but I don't know, there's just a certain level of ineptitude, or I don't know if it's the way the dude sings or the words he chooses, man, but this is like a KBD of UK82. Listen to this song, What the Fuck, dude. There's nothing I can tell you that the song What the Fuck will not explain about this record. Fucking great tune. It just fucking spits, oozes, comes, and barfs punk rock all over you. What the fuck? Check it out. Up next, one of the best bands of the genre. One of the best bands of the era. One of the best bands of punk. One of the best bands? Blitz. Fucking Blitz. We got 4 singles here spanning the years 1981 to 1983. Yeah. Now these first 3 singles are 100% bona fide punk rock classics. They should be in any motherfucker's collection that gets down with real rock and roll shit. We're talking 21 inches filled to the fucking brim with hard as nails, but still melodic. Sing, shout, and chant along punk rock hits. Here's their first release, All Out Attack. No Future Records, 1981. This is the very first release on the absolutely legendary No Future Records. Big, beautiful fold out. Checking it out. Yo, get a fucking load of this skeleton soldier playing guitar while he's on fire. Whoa. Blitz, all stars of mustache punk. It's fucking rare to find one punk rocker in your band with a mustache. These guys have 2 punk stashes. Maybe a record. This is the second pressing, blank labels. The first press has rubber stamped labels. There are some fucking copies of second or later presses that people tried to rubber stamp to make it look like first presses, so you gotta make sure you got the right rubber stamp, research your shit before you pay too much for a boot. But there's modern pressings of this shit too. Absolutely essential. Covered by numerous bands from Negative Approach to Rancid and beyond. Do ya feel alright? Oi, 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 someone's gonna die tonight. Someone's gonna die tonight. All 4 songs are great. It's their second 7-inch, Never Surrender, with Razors in the Night on the B-side. Holy shit! 2 more perfect fucking punk rock tunes. The Razors in the Night. It's just the fucking simple but perfect songwriting with that fucking oi street punk attitude. Perfect. Great fucking record. Their third single, Warriors. Youth on the B-side. Well, what do you know? 2 more great fucking songs. Warriors. Never forget the Warriors, Warriors. This fucking sick flying skull guy. No Future Records, Oi number 16. Not sure why my inner sleeve is blue. Probably didn't come that way originally. Never forget the Warriors. I'm not fucking around. This early Blitz shit is some of the best punk rock, I think. They got an LP out from that era too, Voice of a Generation. Fucking great record. Get it. Get these singles. If you like punk rock, you should have some Blitz. This is the last single I got by Blitz from 1983. New Age on the A side, Fatigue on the B side. If you can't tell by the cover alone, Blitz is starting to change their shit a little by now. Look at it. They've even gone from no Future Records to Future Records. They now have a future! Starting here and for their next couple singles and their second LP definitely, they kind of start heading into a more new wavy, post-punky, Joy Division-y kind of sound. And the other singles I don't really need, man. But fucking New Age, still a great song. On the kids on the street, and the kids everywhere. All I gotta say is the kids don't care. Still super punk rock. A little more mellow, a little more melody. Still a fucking punk rock classic. Blitz, New Age, still killer. The rest of their singles after this, if you're into Joy Division-y shit or new wavy kind of shit, it's pretty good for that genre. But it's not the punk rock shit like these first four. Blitz is one of the best and highly fucking recommended. Up next is another No Future record, Oi number 8 from 1982, Blitzkrieg. Lest we forget. I tell you what, No Future Records is one of the greatest labels of this scene for sure. And a label that I'm definitely trying to collect everything they did. You know, this is the perfect kind of label to collect because there's only a certain amount of releases and they're pretty much all good. There's one or two that are only so-so, but 99 times out of 100 you see this logo. You're in for some quality punk rock. Only need me a couple more and I'll have the whole set of these damn No Futures. Wish me luck. Blitzkrieg was a really cool band from this scene that doesn't really get a ton of lip service. Members of this band also played in The Insane and Mayhem. No, not that Mayhem. The UK82 Mayhem. Duh. This record's real cool though. Kinda better than their low profile might lead you to believe. I'm still hunting for their second single, Animals and Lipstick from 1983. Who's holding? They ended up getting back together. I think they put out an LP in like the early 90s and some other shit after that too. It's great, angry, shouted vocal, street punk shit, man. Next we got The Blood. Got two singles here, both of them from 1983. This first one, Megalomania, is on No Future. Second one, Stark Raving Normal. It's on Noise Records, which I believe was their own label. The Blood were fucking cool, man. The guitar playing on here is a notch above a lot of the UK82 stuff. Got cool leads and cool riffs and shit going on. Megalomania, a monster of a single. This sounds like The Damned playing super fast, which means it's awesome. It's really quite enjoyable. The second one, Stark Raving Normal, sounds like The Damned kinda, but at regular speed. Not super fast. Still totally enjoyable. They also got a killer LP from this era, False Gestures for a Devious Public, or something like that. All three are worth picking up. If you could only have one of the two, I vote for Megalomania. Fucking killer. Next we got the great Broken Bones. 3 singles that came out between 1983 and 1985. Broken Bones was started by Bones and Tez from Discharge. They were founding members of Discharge who split with them and started doing this instead. Discharge subsequently started getting a bit lamer and lamer after this, but Broken Bones was still sick. Here's their first single, Decapitated. Where was I? Right, Decapitated. A fucking all-time punk rock classic if you ask me. This looks like a split release between Fallout Records and Scarlet Records. Boys looking cool with their hairdos and their leather. Nobby plays the mouth. So what do we got? Decapitated Problem and Liquidated Brains. 3 fucking certified rippers. This band would eventually push towards being more of a crossover style band, but this shit here is straight up pure hardcore punk rock, man, with some fucking cool guitar leads. Decapitated is a fucking great song. Check it out. Here's the second single, Crucifix. Got Fight the Good Fight and IOU on the B-side. I owe you. I owe you. Nothing. I owe you nothing. He owes you nothing. This is weird. There's some sleeves where this image is like all backwards out there too. This is something I haven't really got into yet in this series that we should probably talk about more, is how wonderful the names of people in UK82 bands were. Bones, Baz, Adi, and Nobby. It's a good collection of names. We'll have to remember to talk about that more in the weeks to come. 3 more great tunes. Some fast driving, dirty, rough and tough fucking motor punk. Here's the last single I got by the boys. Seeing Through My Eyes, The Point of Agony, and It's Like. 1985 Fallout Records. Pretty sick picture disc. There is a picture sleeve version of this single out there I'd like to get my hands on. I usually prefer a picture sleeve to a picture disc, even though this is pretty rad. Hair's a little bit bigger. They're getting a little bit more metallic, but it's still some hardcore punk shit, for sure. All 3 records are great. How about these guys? The Business. This is their first single. Harry May, 1981, Secret Records. National Insurance Blacklist on the B-side. Be a rebel and you'll always be wrong. Got some clean-cut fellas here. Very much on an Oi trip. One of the more notable biggest and best of the Oi groups. Harry May is a classic of sing-along, shout-along, working-class street punk shit. Man, I used to have the second Business single, Smash the Discos, too, which also rules. But I ended up trading it to somebody like fucking years ago. I don't even remember what I got in the trade. I'm sure it was cool, but I just assumed it'd be easier to find Smash the Discos again than whatever I got, and like, still all these years later, I'm still hunting for my replacement of the second Business single, Smash the Discos. It'll be back here one day, cause that song fucking kills too. These guys, actually more so than a lot of the bands, like, stayed together a long time and put shit out all through the 80s and 90s and all that shit. I find the early shit to be the most appealing to me, but whatever, great band. How about we throw in one last record and call it? This one doesn't technically belong in the B section. It's more of a comp, but it's got 2 B bands on it, so let's just go for it. Total Noise #1. This is on Total Noise Records, and this is the only record on Total Noise Records. They ain't never made a Total Noise #2, so they could have probably just called it Total Noise without a number. But this is what we got anyway. The 2 B bands on here are The Business and Blitz, who we've already discussed. Also, you got the Gonads, who we'll talk about in the G section. That's got Gary Bushell in it. And Dead Generation, who we will not talk about in the D section, because this is the only track they did. But, shh. It turns out Dead Generation is actually just the Cockney Rejects, so maybe we'll talk about them in the C section. I think I have the Cockney Rejects filed in my 70s punk section, but they're kind of like in that middle ground. Like, all the best Cockney Reject shit is like 1980, 1981. So like after the 70s shit and before the UK82 shit. And I think their sound kind of goes along with both. Definitely a important precursor and influence on the UK82 sound and style, I reckon. So cheers to the Cockney Rejects. Maybe we'll talk about them in the next episode. Anyway, this is a 4-band comp. Came out in 1982. The A-side is the B bands, Business and Blitz. Both fucking great songs. We're loud, proud, and punk. Da-na-na-na. This is the voice of a generation. Sing along, chant along, fucking punk rock hits. B-side is weaker. The Gonads have some good tracks, but also like some fucking silly, jokey bullshit tracks. And this Cockney Rejects, aka Dead Generation song is definitely more on their rock and roll trip than their punk rock trip. Cool record nonetheless. Look at this guy's eyes. So that's it, I guess. That's all I got in the B section. Hey, you know, I can only show what I own. I don't claim to have all the absolute knowledge on UK82. I don't claim to have everything. There's definitely a bunch of shit I'm missing. If there's a band you think should have been mentioned, I probably think they should have been mentioned too. I just don't got their record yet because I'm not a millionaire and can only get some stuff. But anyway, yeah, comment below if I missed somebody or if there's like, dude, you should check out this record. So yeah, anyway, I mean, this is far from complete and exhaustive, but at least we can shine a little spotlight on a real cool scene that I think is pretty important in the history and shaping of punk rock as we know it. I'll catch you next time when we tackle the letter C.